All right, Math 8, I'm wearing my Duke gear. Yeah, let's go. Okay, let's correct the left side of that worksheet. We're finding the length of a side, so that was the square root of 100. And the square root of 49, which was 7, so we have those two sides. Remember, that would be 7. Oh, hey. That would be 10 squared would give you 100. 7 times 7 would give you 49. Okay, let's keep going here. Find the square root. Okay, so square root of 25, 5. 3 times the square root of 121, well, the square root of 121 is 11. 3 times 11, there you go. The square root of 900 is 30, and 30 times 30 gives you 900. Let's use that big old red pen. It shows up better. Okay. The square root of 900 is 30 because 30 times 30 is 900. 1 is a perfect square, if I remember correctly. The square root of 1 is 1 because 1 times 1 is 1. And remember, there's 2 square roots for any number. Like the square root of 25 would be 5 and negative 5. And we used to write it like this also, plus or minus 5. Got my bubble pen. So this one, when they don't ask us, we just usually just put 5. You can put 5 or negative 5 or plus or minus. That works also. On this one, they're specifically asking for the negative square root of 1, which the square root of 1 is 1, and they're asking for the negative one, so you put negative. That's why they're different colors there. Okay, they're asking for the negative square root of 25, which would be square root of 25 is 5, but the negative one is negative 5. Same thing here. The square root of 8100 is 90. 90 times 90 is 8100, but they're asking specifically for the negative one, so we're giving them negative. That's why they're different colors, negative 90. Okay, on T, on the left side here, once again, they want the negative one. The square root of 900 is 30. We already established that up here. And they're asking for the negative one, so it's going to be negative 30. 100 times 100 is 10,000. So the square root of 10,000 is 100, and they're not asking specifically. If you would have put plus or minus or 100 comma negative 100, same answer. And the answers were here. Uh-oh, there's some yellow missing here. I thought I got all of it. Guess I didn't. Okay. Hopefully you guys are watching this. I know how many views there are because on YouTube it shows you. A lot of people aren't watching this. I don't know how you're correcting your work. We're going over it. We're correcting it. This is hopefully helping. Okay, let's go down here. This would be, oh Lord, I can't use it to write, but I can use it to point. Okay, 144 plus 25 is 169. Square root of 169 is 13. I'm trying to think, it was just the other side where I showed. Nope, I have it here. I thought I did. Okay. If I had a brain, I'd be dangerous. Okay. Square root of 12 squared is 144. 5 squared is 25. Add them up. The square root of 169, 13. For this one, the easiest way to explain this is if you take a number and you square it, you take the square root of it, you're going to get the same number you started with. I don't know if that's a good way to say it, but it works for me. Okay, for this one, I'm going to square 17, and I'm going to square 15, and then subtract them. 289 minus 225 is 64. Square root of 64 is 8. On this one, you don't even need to do that. If you're squaring, it's like you're writing it like this also. If you're taking a number and you're squaring it and taking the square root of it, it's the number that you started with. In this case, 38. Okay, on this one, you're going to square 30, square 40. The square root of 2500, when you add them together, is 50. No matter how they write this up, if you're squaring the square root of 15 and you're taking the square root, you're going to end up with the number you started with. You could square it and then take the square root of it and you still get 15. But when you take the square root of a number and then you square it, you end up with what you started with. Like on this one, if you took the square root of 38, it's 5 point something, blah, 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 blah. Same thing here. You multiply them back together again, you end up with what you started with, 38. So you can save some time by saying, oh look, there's taking the square root of a number, but you're squaring it, you're going to end up with what you started with without the square root symbol. Okay, on this one, the square root of 4 is 2, the square root of 9 is 3, 9 times 2 is 18, 4 times 3 is 12, 18 plus 12 should be 30. On this one, same thing here. You could square 90 and then take the square root of it, or just go, if I'm squaring it and taking the square root of it, you're going to end up with 90 either way. Okay, we got that. Let's go to, I'm sending you the right side today, which will be this one. Okay, somewhat similar, except you're squaring it to get what you're finding the area on this one. You're finding the area. Same thing here. Square roots, ooh, negative sign, decimal. Think of this as 625. You know what the square root of that is. We've done it a few times. And then what would you multiply times itself, including the decimal, to make the decimal come back 2 places? That's what you have to think of. Okay, then when you go here, I think I did this one and this one. Okay, estimate each square root without using a calculator. From the answers at the bottom of the page, choose the best estimate. Okay, so the answers are on here. So what you can do is, let's see if I can do this. Let's go to the okay, this is the one I think I showed you guys last time, this problem. Let's see. Okay, so I'm finding the square root of 10, which is close to 9, which is 3, and 16, which is 4. Okay. And I want to guesstimate the answer. Well, I know it's between 3 and 4, but where? Well, look at it. It's right next door. It's only 1. From 9 to 10 is 1, but from 9 to 16, that's 7. So it's 1/7 of the way there. That's what this is here. 1/7, which if you divided that, you'd get approximately 0.14. So I wrote, it's 3.1 or 3.2. And here's the good news. You can go back to where the answers were. And there, the only one that you're looking at is the bottom right side here, and 3.2 is on there. So it's either 3.1 or 3.2, that's your answer. Okay, for the other one, which was way down here, actually, I think I have it right here. Okay, hope nobody got seasick from that. That was a wild ride. Okay, so it's 392. And I know that 400 is right next door. That's 20. The previous number has to be 19, and if I squared it, I'd get 361. Now, I want to know, where is that number? I know it's going to be on that answer sheet, but let's take a look here. Okay, from 361 to 392, that's plus 31. All right, from 361 all the way to 400, that's plus 39. So this number, 392, is 31/39 of the way there. Well, you know what that's close to? Add 1 to each one, since I don't have to be super accurate. I can say it's about 31/39. It's about 32/40. And I can just get a guesstimate from there and see if it works for me. Okay, if I reduce that fraction, 32 over 40, divide them both by 8, I'm going to get 4/5. 4 divided by 5 is 0.8. Okay, so I'm going to say it's going to be around 19.8. And then when I went up to take a look over here, whoops. Somewhere, there it is, 3 days later. So 19.8 is one of my choices. So what you're working on is just getting a guesstimate of what it would be. And then instead of going through all the work, we were squaring stuff, square this, square that, which one's it closer to? All you're doing is you're going, hey, on this right side at the bottom, what's on there that's pretty close? 19.8, that's close enough, because it's right there. It's right in that neighborhood, somewhere in there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to send you guys that right side, and we're going to make it due on Monday. And what I'm going to do from now till then is I'm going to look, I was looking in the book at the end of unit study guide or something like that. And I was looking through that stuff, and it would be a whole lot better to try to go over that if we were in class. So I may find some of these worksheets that correspond to that stuff but are easier. I'm thinking of possibly going in that direction for the rest of the time. So we'll be reviewing stuff that would be on the final, that kind of thing, by going over the same material. Anyway, that's all I got. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.